Have you ever wondered how one simple fruit called a date can taste completely different depending on where it comes from? Some dates taste like honey and caramel, while others have hints of chocolate, nuts, or even coffee-like richness. Some are soft enough to melt in your mouth, and others are dry and firm, built to survive harsh desert journeys for months. But the most fascinating part is not just the taste. Every date variety carries a story of culture, survival, trade, and history from different parts of the world. One of the most famous varieties is Medjool, often called the king of dates. Long ago in Morocco, Medjool dates were considered a luxury fruit reserved for royalty and honored guests. Ordinary people rarely had the chance to taste them. Even today, they are known as premium dates because of their massive size, soft texture, and rich sweetness. When you bite into a Medjool, it feels almost like eating natural caramel mixed with honey. They stay moist even when fully ripe, which is why they need careful storage. Many people use them in smoothies, desserts, stuffed snacks, or simply eat them on their own as a natural energy source. But here is something most people do not know. Medjool dates nearly disappeared forever. A dangerous plant disease once destroyed huge numbers of date palms in North Africa. Only a few healthy offshoots were saved and replanted in the United States decades ago. That is the reason why Medjool dates still exist today. What makes them special is not just the flavor, but the survival story behind them. Now, most people assume all dates are extremely sweet and heavy, but Deglet Noor completely changes that idea. This variety is lighter, firmer, and less sticky than Medjool. It has a gentle honey flavor instead of deep caramel richness. Deglet Noor is often called the date of light, because when held against sunlight, its golden flesh becomes slightly translucent. It originally comes from Algeria and Tunisia, where date palms grow in some of the harshest desert conditions on Earth. The dry climate helps the fruit stay firm, which also makes it easier to transport around the world. That is why Deglet Noor became one of the most commercially traded dates globally. Then there is Ajwa, one of the most respected and spiritually significant date varieties in the world. These small, dark dates are mainly grown around Medina in Saudi Arabia. Ajwa dates are deeply connected with Islamic history and are mentioned in religious traditions, which is why many people consider them special beyond just nutrition. Their flavor is unique, rich, and complex with notes of dark chocolate, molasses, and a subtle herbal finish. Unlike very juicy dates, Ajwa feels dense and smooth. Because they are grown in limited quantities, they are usually more expensive than common varieties, and are often given as gifts during religious occasions. Another remarkable variety is Sukari, whose name literally means sugary in Arabic. These dates are famous for their intense sweetness and soft, buttery texture. Fresh Sukari dates are often eaten before they fully ripen, when they are still golden yellow with a slight crunch. At that stage, they taste almost like caramel candy mixed with fresh fruit. As they mature, they become softer and deeper in flavor. In Saudi Arabia, Sukari dates are considered one of the finest local varieties and are commonly enjoyed with Arabic coffee. Barhi dates are completely different from what most people imagine when they think about dates. Instead of being dark and dried, Barhi dates are often eaten fresh while they are bright yellow and crunchy. Their texture feels surprisingly similar to apples or pears with a refreshing sweetness. As they ripen further, they transform into soft golden fruits with a creamy butterscotch flavor. This dramatic change in texture and taste makes Barhi one of the most interesting date varieties in the world. Mazafati dates from Iran are often called chocolate dates because of their dark color and deep flavor. They are soft, juicy, and rich without being overwhelmingly sweet. Their taste carries hints of cocoa, brown sugar, and molasses. These dates are closely connected to ancient underground irrigation systems in Iran, where mineral-rich water flows from mountains into dry farming regions. The combination of hot days and cool nights creates the perfect conditions for developing their strong flavor. In Iran, Mazafati dates are commonly eaten with tea or used in traditional desserts with walnuts and spices. One of the oldest cultivated varieties is Zahidi. Unlike soft luxury dates, Zahidi dates are semi-dry with a nutty flavor and a firm texture. They have been grown for thousands of years in regions connected to ancient Mesopotamia. Because they are less sticky and easier to process, Zahidi dates are often used to make date syrup, date paste, and energy bars. Their mild flavor also makes them perfect for cooking in savory dishes without overpowering other ingredients. Pierrom dates from southern Iran are considered one of the most expensive and luxurious varieties. They are long, dark, and slightly wrinkled, with a chewy texture and deep, toffee-like flavor. Unlike very sugary dates, Pierrom dates feel balanced and elegant. Since they grow only in limited regions and require careful handling, they are often sold in premium packaging and served with high-quality tea. Another traditional variety is Halawi from Iraq. The name itself means sweet, and the fruit truly lives up to that reputation. Halawi dates are soft, moist, and smooth with a gentle caramel flavor. Ancient Mesopotamian civilizations cultivated dates for thousands of years, and varieties like halawi became deeply tied to the culture of the region. Even today, they remain popular because of their reliable texture and rich taste. Thori dates, often called bread dates, were made for survival. These dry and firm dates come from desert regions of Algeria and were traditionally carried by nomadic tribes during long journeys. Because they contain very little moisture, they can last for years without spoiling. Their flavor is mild and nutty rather than intensely sweet. When soaked in milk or water, they soften into a thick paste, often used in breads and energy foods. Sagai dates are known for their unusual two-tone appearance. One part of the fruit is golden and slightly crunchy, while the other part is darker, softer, and chewy. This combination creates two completely different textures in a single bite. In Gulf countries, Sagai dates are commonly served with Arabic coffee during gatherings and celebrations. Khalis dates are considered by many people in the Gulf region to be the perfect balance of sweetness, softness, and richness. Their flavor combines caramel, toffee, and floral notes without becoming overpowering. The best Khalis dates come from oasis regions where underground freshwater sources nourish millions of palm trees in the middle of the desert. Finally, there's Hayani from Egypt. A fresh and juicy variety, unlike the heavy dried dates most people know. Hayani dates are dark red to almost black with a softer and lighter flavor. Because they contain much more water, they are often eaten fresh, frozen, or blended into drinks. In Egypt, they are commonly used in salads, platters, and even savory dishes. The fascinating thing about dates is that they are not just fruits. They are pieces of history shaped by deserts, rivers, trade routes, religions, and ancient civilizations. Every variety tells a different story about the people who cultivated it and the lands where it grew. And once you understand that, you stop seeing dates as ordinary snacks. You start seeing them as one of the oldest surviving foods that still connect the modern world to ancient human history. What makes date varieties even more fascinating is how dramatically the environment changes their character. A date grown in volcanic soil develops a completely different flavor from one grown near underground springs or dry desert sand. The same fruit reacts differently depending on heat, water, wind, and even the temperature difference between day and night. That is why dates from different countries almost feel like entirely different foods. In the Arabian deserts, date palms were more than crops. They were survival itself. Long before modern cities existed in the Gulf, travelers crossing endless deserts depended on dates for energy and nutrition. A handful of dates and some water could keep someone moving for hours under extreme heat. This is one reason why date palms became symbols of life, patience, and prosperity throughout Middle Eastern history. Some varieties were specifically valued because they lasted for long journeys. Dry dates like thuri or zahidi could survive months without refrigeration. Traders, nomads, and caravan travelers carried them across ancient trade routes connecting Africa, the Middle East, Persia, and Asia. These dates were lightweight, nutritious, and easy to store, making them one of the world's earliest travel foods. But not every date was created for survival. Some were created for pleasure and prestige. Wealthy families and royal courts often preferred softer, richer varieties like Medjool or kalas because of their luxurious texture and sweetness. In some regions, the finest dates were served only to honored guests with tea or coffee. Even today, premium dates are often packaged in elegant gift boxes during festivals and special occasions. Here is where things become really interesting. Dates are harvested at different stages of ripeness, and the flavor can completely change depending on when they are eaten. Fresh yellow Barhi dates taste crisp and refreshing, almost like apples, but as they ripen, they become soft, brown, and deeply sweet. Sukari dates also go through a dramatic transformation, starting with a slight crunch before turning buttery and rich. This is why some people love fresh dates, while others prefer dried ones. They are technically the same fruit, but the experience feels completely different. Another reason dates became so respected is their nutritional value. For thousands of years, people noticed that dates provided quick energy and kept them full for longer periods. They contain natural sugars, fiber, potassium, magnesium, and other nutrients that make them both satisfying and practical. In many cultures, dates became associated with strength and hospitality because they could instantly refresh someone after travel or fasting. But despite their long history, dates are now becoming popular in a completely new way. Modern health trends have transformed them into natural alternatives to processed sugar. Instead of refined sweets, many people now use dates in smoothies, protein snacks, energy bars, desserts, and healthy baking recipes. Some chefs even turn dates into syrups, sauces, or caramel-like spreads without adding artificial sugar. At the same time, traditional ways of eating dates still remain important in many cultures. In Gulf countries, serving dates with Arabic coffee is a deeply rooted social tradition. In Iran, dates are paired with tea and nuts. In North Africa, dates are used in stews and festive dishes. In Egypt, fresh dates are blended into drinks and fruit platters. Every region developed its own relationship with this fruit over centuries. And honestly, that is what makes dates so unique compared to many other foods. Most fruits are simply eaten and forgotten, but dates became connected to religion, trade, migration, survival, and family traditions. Entire oasis cities were built around date palm farming. Ancient irrigation systems were designed specifically to grow them. Generations of farmers passed down techniques for climbing palm trees, harvesting fruit, and protecting rare varieties. Even today, growing premium dates is not easy. Many varieties require extremely specific conditions. Some palms need years before they produce fruit. Others are delicate and difficult to transport because of their thin skin and high moisture. Farmers must carefully sort, dry, and preserve the fruit by hand. That is why the finest dates often cost much more than ordinary varieties. But perhaps the most beautiful thing about dates is how they connect the ancient world to modern life. Thousands of years ago, travelers carried dates through deserts under the burning sun. Today, people carry the same fruit in gym bags, office lunches, and healthy snack boxes. The form may look modern, but the connection is ancient, and maybe that is why dates never disappeared, even as countless other ancient foods faded away. They adapted with time, while still keeping their roots in history. Every bite still carries something old inside it. The feeling of survival, tradition, and human connection passed down through generations. So the next time you see a box of dates, you might look at them differently. They are not just sweet fruits sitting on a shelf. They are living pieces of culture shaped by deserts, civilizations, and centuries of history. And once you understand the stories behind them, even a simple date starts to feel extraordinary.